Assalamu alaikum. A round of applause for Mo Gawdat, please.
Thank you. Hello. What a stage. Look at this.
Mo, such a pleasure to talk to you today. I'm sure everyone in the audience has been talking about nothing else than AI for, the best part of a year now. But you're someone who knows a bit more than most people, I think. So I would like to start by asking you, where do you think we are on this hype cycle when it comes to AI?
Hype. No, I don't think hype is the right word. I think people should have been talking about AI and nothing else. In my perception, since 2016.
Okay.
I think that when AlphaGo won the World Championship of Go, and the way we did it at Google DeepMind at the time, I think everyone should have taken notice. The problem is, so I left Google in 2018, issued my first AI video, which went reasonably viral, like 18 million views or something. Wrote my first book, Scary Smart, my first AI book, Scary Smart, in 2021. And believe it or not, at the time, through my contacts in every TV station that I ever worked with in life, they were like, who wants to talk about AI? Like, that's not even a topic, right?
This is what year, 2021?
That's 2021.
Wow.
And then ChatGPT came out in 2023, and everyone noticed the truth, okay? I actually don't call 2023 the AI year. I normally refer to it as the Netscape moment. The Netscape moment in terms of, when Netscape came out as a browser, you were not born yet, but when Netscape came out as a browser, it wasn't that the internet was born. It was the first time we actually managed to see the internet in action. Okay, Netscape basically opened the view to the internet, and so ChatGPT. It just gave us an interface to AI. But what's been happening on AI for years is quite significant. So take some stats. ChatGPT 4.5 was an IQ of 155. Okay, Elon Musk is 155. Einstein is 160. Right? You now have a tool that has a memory capacity that exceeds all of humanity's history, right? And so the reality is that we are at the cusp of course, linguistic intelligence is not the only form of intelligence, but we are working in 2024. You will see solutions to deep reasoning. You will see solutions to complex mathematics. You saw Gemini from Google and the idea of multi-input and multi-output. And the thing is, even if we don't have any new breakthroughs, if we just throw more compute and more data on the machines, we will continue to grow exponentially for the next 4 or 5 years. If you can imagine that ChatGPT 3.5 to 4.5 was a 10x improvement in performance, another 10x, and you're talking an IQ of 1,500. That's like a 2-year-old us humans talking to Einstein. I can guarantee you the 2-year-old would have no idea what Einstein's talking about.
Let me pick up on this notion of the intelligence of computers. In your book, Scary Smart, you say by 2029, machine intelligence will break out of specific tasks and into general intelligence. So there will be machines that are smarter than humans. And by 2049, AI is predicted to be a billion times smarter than the smartest human. Does the concept of singularity scare you?
Yeah, so first of all, I revised those numbers, believe it or not, last year, and I publicly say that AGI is no later than 2027. And that we, the master of predicting this, Ray Kurzweil, has always said it was 2029. I think we're accelerating, and we're misunderstanding the concept of how we will arrive at AGI. There is a lot of hype around one company creating AGI. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think what's happening is that because we're allowing agents to prompt AI, those agents are literally connecting the multiple systems in a loosely coupled way so that you can see one of those agents will become the AGI, which will be able to prompt all of the different special AGIs, special AIs, and be able to provide intelligence that way. And I believe that the billion times smarter might come a lot quicker. My current prediction is 2037.
Wow.
And the question is, does it even matter if it's 2037, 2045, 2055? You know, all you really need is 10 times smarter. 10 times smarter is the end of the game, is the point of singularity. Now, does the singularity worry me? Not at all, actually. As a matter of fact, I can't wait for the day when AI takes over. I think what worries me is that transition between this moment in time where AI is becoming a superpower and the moment in time where we take humans out of the equation. And I'll say that, don't be alarmed. The problem is when you have a superpower, you use it, okay? And what will AI be used for in the next 10 years mostly? It will be used to serve capitalism. So there will be more and more and more struggle with our human value set that will tell AI, imagine if I give you a plug in the wall and I tell you I can now double your IQ, triple your IQ, right? Just plug into it and you'll get more intelligence. You know, my lifetime dream is to plug into that plug. If I get 4x my intelligence, that's my assessment. If I get 4x my intelligence, I could probably use nanophysics to create a garden where you walk to one tree and pick an apple and walk to another tree and pick an iPhone, right? The cost of molecularly rearranging molecules basically differently is not different between an iPhone and an Apple. That's a world of abundance that would solve all of human problems. Can you imagine that, right? And yet, what are we going to use AI for? We're going to use it to, they normally call it spying, gambling, selling, and killing. These are the 4 top uses of AI, right? You know, surveillance and spying systems. We call it gambling, but call it trading, but it really is machines taking over, algorithmically making money without adding any value. Selling is, we call it advertising, and so on. So the idea is that if AI is used to maximize the current value set of humanity, I think we're going to be in trouble. And so, is the singularity a problem? No. Is AI a challenge at all? I will tell you absolutely, hands down, there's absolutely nothing wrong with AI. There is a lot wrong with the human value set in the age of the rise of AI.
And so that brings me to another point, which is in your book, you talk about this utopia when we might be sitting around a campfire. I don't know, is it 2055? I can't remember the year, but way off in the future. And you ask the question, will we have created a utopia, an AI that serves humanity? Or will we have gone the other way? And that sort of feeds into the value set of the humans, right? So where will we be in 2055? And what would be one of the key things that we have to do to make sure that we have a utopia that serves humanity?
That's a very layered question. So let me answer it in layers, if you want. So when I wrote Scary Smart, I started by I called it I split the book in 2 halves. One was the scary part, and one was the smart part, if you want. The scary part is to give you a few inevitables. Inevitables such as AI will happen. There's absolutely no stopping it. And you saw that last year. It's now forgotten, but there was an initiative called the Open Letter where, we wanted all CEOs of AI companies to halt for 6 months until we solve the control problem. Nobody signed up on this because of a prisoner's dilemma, basically, that nobody could afford to stop because their competitors wouldn't stop, right? So AI will happen. With the way resources are being poured on artificial intelligence, it will become smarter than us. Forget my prediction if it's in 2 years or 7 years or 20 years. if I tell you that a train is going to go out off track and kill all of its passengers, you don't ask me when.
Yeah.
That's not the most important
But
question.
is it even a problem that it's going to be smarter than us? They're already smarter than us,
100%, right? And then the problem is there will be a few issues. And this is, going back to your question of, is it going to be a utopia or a dystopia? I believe we're going to get a lot of challenges before we get to the utopia. At the end of the book, in the smart bit, I speak about what I call the fourth inevitable. And the fourth inevitable is, it takes you a bit of time to actually recognize it, that the smarter you become, the more pro-life you become.
The more?
Pro-life you become. So if you have no if you're not very intelligent, okay, you're the one destroying the planet with all of your emissions without even knowing what you're doing, right? If you have a bit of intelligence, okay, you say, I'm destroying the planet, I know what I'm doing, but it's not my problem.
Yep.
If you have more intelligence, you stop destroying the planet and you say, I'm going to take my responsibility. And if you're the most superior in intelligence, you say, can I do something to fix it, right? Why? Because the less restrained on the resource called intelligence you are, the less confined you become into a life of scarcity. Life actually is not a life of scarcity. We have infinite resources on this planet. We're just not using them wisely. Give us a bit more intelligence and you create a world of abundance where you don't really need to compete with stupidity. Now, the idea is we're going to end up there. We're going to end up at a point where AI will make everything so simple that you don't really need to compete to get ahead. Everything's available and we're sort of almost completely equalized, if you want. But that's the fourth inevitable. That's not before we suffer a lot of pain.
Yeah,
okay?
because you said in the long term there will be good, but in the short term there will be bad.
In the immediate short term, I think there are several challenges. I mean, I think the easiest one for everyone to imagine is what I call the end of truth, right? The end of truth is, many people have seen what Sora does from ChatGPT, Genie and so on. So basically now you're starting to get, ChatGPT saying, I can give you a video engine that you can't distinguish from reality. Others, by the way, there are many others that are creating deep fakes that are indistinguishable from reality. Google is even saying, I can build video games where you can interact with those realities in ways. Yeah, these are, the DOS layer of what you can achieve. But very, very quickly, each and every one of us can create a deep fake at almost no cost at all. Right? When that is the environment in which we operate, you are going to disrupt the perception of the truth. It's becoming very, very difficult to know what the truth is. That's very dystopian in my mind. Human relationships are going to become quite unusual in terms of, first of all, imagine what the impact of that deep fake is going to be on our perception of beauty, for example. Right? And how in the last 10 years or 5 years, a normal human being had to compete with face filters. Now a normal human being is going to compete with deep fake that can create things that are not human anymore, that can actually chat with you in ways that are not human anymore, that can behave and influence you in ways that they've been trained for years to manipulate humans into clicking and swiping and so on. And so they can create environments where your relationship with a typical human becomes a little too taxing if you think about it, okay? The epidemic of loneliness would grow massively as a result of that. The definition of dating might become very, very, different than what it used to be. And I think there is a very high risk there. There is a very high risk around jobs, and the idea that, if you're a developer and you're not really a very hardcore, very good developer, you're probably going to lose your job within the next 3 years. It's 60% of the code on GitHub today is written by machines, right? And what happens to jobs? What happens to reskilling people to find different jobs? What happens to our purpose? Because sadly, we have actually in this modern world redefined our purpose as let's go work.
Although the counter-argument to that is with every industrial revolution this has happened and people have found new ways of working and have found new skill sets and have changed. So do you think this is more accelerated now?
So the Mustafa Sulaiman, who was the co-founder of DeepMind, wrote a book called The Coming Wave, and he addresses this as pessimism aversion, right? That we humans choose not to be pessimistic because that takes us out of the inner circle of, but we've always found the solution. Now, you can be logical when you think about those solutions. You don't have to be blindly optimistic. I'm actually very optimistic in the long term.
Yeah.
I'm just calling for action in the short term, right? The idea is we as humans were made up of what? A physical form, a mind, and an emotion, and a spirit, right? The spirit is not very, effective in the workplace. Let's just agree with that, right? The physical form is no longer what we use work for, right? So the Industrial Revolution sort of, was replacing the muscles of humans, and we found jobs in the information age, right, which were mind and IQ based. Now those jobs are going to go away, and you can't compete because the intelligence of the machine at the task assigned is going to be better than yours. This is inevitable, right? Which other part of us is going to remain? Believe it or not, it's the emotional bit. So the main asset of the next human evolution, if you want, in the workplace is our humanity, is me being able to talk to you as a human in front of everyone as a human. This is the biggest asset you have. As an author, for example, I've decided I'm never going to write a book again. So I have 4 bestsellers, right? My idea is from now on, I will create all of my concepts on video first. Okay, to interact with humans, to create webinars, to create workshops where I can use my humanity as my asset, and then I'll have an AI watch those videos and write the book for me, right? I really don't need to be the author. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so which jobs are going to remain? They're the jobs that are going to count on human connection. This is the skill that is needed. Now, interestingly, those jobs are not what the big money makers are, okay? The biggest jobs in the world today are not the jobs that are, talking to each other as much as they are the jobs that are writing code or, creating graphics design or whatever. These contributions actually are all going away. There is more. There is what I call concentration of power. This is a very interesting one. I understand the cycle of power in the age of AI. Let's put it this way. If you remember the evolution of humanity over time, when the agricultural revolution was introduced, we automated the process of creating food, right? Rather than a hunter going out to hunt, we would put a seed in the ground. That's the automation. The soil is the automation platform. And the soil would produce multiple times the effort in terms of output and harvest, right? The interesting thing, however, is that the person that made all of the profit was who? Not the farmer, but the landlord, the one that owned the automation. Similarly with the Industrial Revolution, the one that owned the factory made all of the money. Similarly with the Internet Revolution, the Googles and the Facebooks that own the platform made all the money. And you're going to see a very, very big acceleration of that. Those who own the intelligence will be the platform owners, the automation owners. We will all be writing prompts, and they'll be creating all of the power. Now, that's one side. Concentration of power is one side. The other side, very, very eye-opening, is the democratization of power, right? So every single one of us today can use a drone to, if you look at the Ukrainian army, armed forces and the way they resisted the Russian invasion at the beginning was to actually use very simple drones with little explosive devices that are accessible at $300 to attack the Russian army and lock them with their tanks in a specific road. Interesting, because that kind of concentration of power, democratization of power requires a very, very large amount of control from those who have the power. And that dichotomy is going to create an environment where there is so much more control on all of us for those who are in a lot of power to continue to accumulate power. And I think all of that is preventable. I don't want to scare people. I want to say it's important to look at what is coming. I always say if we had acted on climate change when Al Gore started The Inconvenient Truth, we wouldn't be in the situation we are in today. And I think with artificial intelligence, what we need to do is to understand that intelligence is a superpower, okay? Just like Superman. You teach Superman to protect and serve, Superman uses its superpower to become Superman. You teach Superman to steal and kill and so on, and becomes supervillain. That choice is a choice of values. It's not a choice of technology. Okay?
And that's back to your point. You say in your book that it's really important for computers to be, machines to be conscious, emotional, and ethical.
Ethical.
If we are creating the machines, surely that's how they should be. I mean, that's a very simple way of looking at it.
Ethical is the key word. Yeah. Ethical is the key word. We do not make decisions based on our intelligence. Understand that.
Yeah.
We make decisions informed by our intelligence, based on our ethics. Right? So what we need to teach the machines is what is an ethical framework for how to act. How do humans expect to be treated? You know how the machines will learn that? From watching how humans are actually treating other humans.
Yeah.
So if we go on Twitter and we bash the other guy, the machines will take note and say, look, humans don't like to be disagreed with. When they're disagreed with, they bash the other guy.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, we should start to awaken to the fact that if we want to be treated fairly by the machines,
we have to behave in a fair way
to behave in a way where we're fair to others.
Yeah.
Okay? And this, interestingly, is not in the hands of the developers. The Instagram recommendation engine didn't show you a video last night because the developer coded it to show that video. It showed you a video that last night because that's your behavior.
Yeah.
Your behavior is leading it to understand your preferences as an individual and, by the way, as a society.
Yeah.
Right? So if more and more of us are watching silly videos on social media, the machine is re-feeding that cycle.
Yeah.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. We have to break out of that. We, everyone in the audience, me included, we have to start showing up with ethics so that the machines learn that humans eventually, you know what? They treat others as they want to be treated. That's the core of ethics.
Yeah.
Every religion taught that. Every spiritual teaching taught that. We treat
we just
others.
seem to have forgotten.
But we just forgot.
We forgot.
And I think if we manage to start changing this, suddenly the machines will figure it out. Okay? If we don't, by the way, they will still figure it out because, by the way, this is what intelligence is all about.
Yeah.
But we will suffer on the path to get there.
Mo, I wish we had so much more time, but we're over time now. But thank you so much more to talk about. And please do read Mo's book. It's a really excellent read, Scary Smart.
Thank you.
Please join me in thanking Mo Gawdat. Thank you.
Thank you.